Hi there, it's Anna McKinley here. Thank you for joining me. And hey, I want to talk a little bit about routines. Why? Because in my last episode yesterday, I talked about sleep and the importance of sleep and shared with you some suggestions for improving both the quality and quantity of the sleep that you get. And one of those suggestions was to get in place a consistent sleep time and wake time and some consistent evening and morning routines to support that. But you and I, we both know, right? It's one thing to say get a new routine in place, it's quite another thing to actually do it. It's one of those easier said than done things, right? Anyone who's tried making a lifestyle change of any kind knows that, yeah? So I thought I'd share with you today just some strategies and a particular strategy actually, which will help you when applied consistently, and that's part of the key, will help you to actually make shifts to your routines and in so doing shifts to your whole life. So upgrade the quality of your routines and you upgrade the quality of your entire life. So I'm going to share with you some tips around that, and this does work. It's a simple practice that will make it easier for you. But first, before we get into that, do be aware that it takes time and it takes consistent repetition for new routines to really bed in, to become familiar enough and well practiced enough that we don't have to make ourselves do it, right? And I'm sharing that with you because there are no shortcuts. Anyone who convinces you that there are, well, you want to question them about it, because what we're doing when we're bedding in new routines is we're actually rewiring the grey matter between our ears, and that doesn't happen overnight. So the first thing, before we get into the strategy, the very first thing for you to focus on, whether it's making a change to your bedtime routine to get better quality sleep, or to any other aspect of your daily routines to support a lifestyle change that you want. Number one thing to focus on is actually getting really clear on why you want to make the change. Why is it important to you? And really getting engaged with that question so that you can buy into the change on a real level, because it's going to require you to make a commitment to yourself to stick with whatever the new routine is for a while, on a consistent basis for a while, until it really starts to bed in. So a couple of questions to help you with that are, firstly, well, what are the benefits for you and for the other people in your life of you making the change? That's a great question to focus on. And another really important one is, what are the consequences if you don't do it, if you keep doing things the way that you are? Right. So those two questions will help you focus in on the benefit, on your bigger why for making any change in your life. And once you're clear on those things, why this is important to you, then it's time to make a plan, right? You've heard it before, I'm sure. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that is so true when we're talking about making any changes to our lifestyle and our lifestyle routines. So a simple structure that will help you come up with a plan is what I'm about to share with you. It's the 3Ws approach. And this will help you come up with a plan that, if you repeat it consistently over a period of time, will actually help you make changes to your routines. And if you stick with it long enough, those changes will translate to lasting improvements in your lifestyle. So if you like the sound of that, keep listening. So what is the 3Ws method? Well, the 3Ws stand for what, when, and where. In making a plan to change the routine, it's important to get clear on all of those aspects. So the what piece is, what specifically are you going to do? And you want to get into as much detail around it as you can. So you're breaking it down into little tiny baby steps. So there's not too much thinking required. You can just walk your way through it. The more specific we get about that, and the more we can actually rehearse it in detail in our mind before even doing it, the more successful you will be with actually putting that into practice. The second part that's important to look at is when. When am I going to do it? What's going to be the thing that happens that tells me now's the time to do this new routine? Is it going to be a particular time? For example, for a new bedtime routine, is it going to be, well, at 10 p.m., I'm going to do whatever the first step of my new bedtime routine is? Or is it going to be after such and such a event has finished, I'm going to, right? We've done the dishes, we've put them away, I've spent an hour with my family, I've put said goodnight to the teenagers, and then I go to bed. That might be an example, right? So when can be either an event or a time. And the last part of it is where. Because if we can picture where we're going to be, particularly for different parts of the routine, where are we going to be when it's triggered, when that when happens, but then where are we going to be as we go through the steps in the routine? That helps us to picture it in our mind and get really, really clear about it. So I'll recap that. It's about getting very specific about what is the new routine you're going to do. Getting as detailed as you can so that you can see it in your mind and actually practice it in your mind. When are you going to do it? Is it a particular time or after some other event? And where will you be, right, when you're doing it? So those are the three elements of the 3 W's. Now, there are some bonus activities, if you like, or some bonus thinking that you can, bonus planning really, that you can do to further increase the likelihood that you'll succeed in bedding a new routine in. I'm going to share those with you now. And the first one is actually really, really critical. Anticipate the challenges. Anticipate the challenges that may come up as you're exercising, as you're implementing the new routine, particularly as you're getting familiar with it. Because particularly when we're in the early days of putting a new routine in place, there are going to be challenges because it's a change. So anticipate what those are going to be and plan for them. Usually the challenges are ourselves, right? Most of the time. The excuses, I'll just do this for 5 more minutes, or that often comes up in relation to going to bed or getting up in the morning, right? Just 5 more minutes. Oh, another 5 more minutes. I'll do it in another 5 minutes. Or then there's that I'll do this other thing first and then I'll get started, or I don't feel like it right now. All of these things. We've got so many excuses that we use to talk ourselves out of doing something new. And those excuses sometimes involve other people too. Right? So anticipating the challenges and making a plan for how we're going to navigate our way through them is really important. The second bonus is actually about what is the immediate reward. You've already thought about why is this change important, but right in the moment when you're doing the thing, the new routine, what is the immediate reward to you that will make you feel good for having done it, or make you feel good while you're doing whatever it is? Get really clear on that reward is. Does it feel good? Does it feel relaxing that you've got this routine? Do you have a sense of accomplishment that you're making change? Are you proud of yourself for doing whatever it is? Are you anticipating feeling fresher and more focused the next day? Whatever it is, get super clear about what the reward is from doing this routine and focus on it. Think about it as you're pushing your planning together. Anticipate how good that reward will feel. Really focus on it in your mind. Focus on it when that when happens, the trigger for your new routine. Focus on the reward. Think about it and how good it will feel again. And as you're doing the routine, you get the idea, because that will build up the anticipation for that reward, and it helps us be motivated, right? It helps us actually make sure that we do it. And it will also help us get this really integrated into a routine. And the third thing is get some social support on your side. This makes a huge difference when we're making lifestyle changes. So maybe that would be in the form of a friend or a family member who wants to make a similar lifestyle change. You know, you can support each other, check in with each other, see how you're doing. Maybe even if you're in the same household, actually, walk through the process together. Or maybe it's simply having someone in your household or another friend who can help you stay accountable, who can remind you to make the change and actually help you stay on track. Whatever it is, having some external social support makes a massive, massive difference. In respect to goal achievement, research has suggested that simply having someone that we report back to on a weekly basis increases our chances of achieving goals by at least a third. So let's actually, do you like the sounds of increasing your chances of success by that much? That's a great strategy. So there are some things that you can use if you want to, whether it is about your routines around sleep, or whether there's another shift that you'd like to make to your daily routines that will translate into lifestyle benefits. There's a process that you can use to really increase your chances of success. I'll recap the key steps again for you. The first one is being really clear about why the change is important to you. Once you are clear about that, make a plan. What you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and where you'll be when you're doing it. And if you want to increase your chances of success, the 3 bonuses are anticipate challenges and plan for them. Get clear about what that immediate reward is that will make it feel good in the now. Not just the bigger why, but what is the immediate reward that you can feel good about in the moment that you're doing the routine. And the last of those bonuses is get social support on your side. A friend, a family member, whatever it is, to help you stay the course. So hey, I hope that served you. You can use this approach to really transform your life if that's what you want to do. And look, if you know anyone else who's looking to upgrade their life, their lifestyle, who wants to up-level their routines, get a bit more focused and get that sense of accomplishment that we get from making positive change, be sure to share this content with them so that they can benefit from it as well. Hey, thanks so much for being here, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.